We're here from Arrowace.
I'm Bastet. I'll be running your operation to investigate the unusual occurrences that have been happening everywhere recently.
Stay out of Antiborough. Stuck in time loop.
I guess it's a ghost plumbing situation.
Bastet has got us out of a lot of problems, but I don't think she can get us out of this one.
It wasn't all the bodies. There were 2 bodies.
Everyone else just got disappeared.
I went missing for a while and I lost my brother. I don't know where he is.
Oh, that's my mother. Oh dear.
It's the same mother that you keep describing as tyrannical and horrible.
Have to practice ritual fight with brother.
Ellie, can I make an insight check of myself but in real life?
Welcome to Deck of Many Aces, an actual play podcast made by actual Aromantics.
Was that the final Bram? The finalist Bram?
The last wham. The last of the whams.
The last Bwam. Well,
It whams for thee.
for now.
I was thinking last of the summer whams, but
We're going to do a Q&A, audience Q&A at some point. So I guess we can Bwam then. But until then, the final Bwam down
for now, for this campaign, for this
campaign.
Yeah.
That's Am is giving me a big
Kill
thumbs down.
them!
That's true.
Are you doing like the Roman Emperor, take him out?
Yeah. Look at me. I'm the captain now. We haven't figured out who's going to GM the next campaign, but that's not what we're here.
It's like Critical Role Season 4, but instead of the players rotating, it's the GMs that rotate.
All 4 of us will do it in rotation in the most hellish format imaginable.
Yeah.
Horrendous. Horrible.
Wes March's GM.
We do get Matt Mercer in for that though, right?
Mark Mercer.
Mark Mercer.
Sorry, Matt Mercer.
Um,
Mark Mercer.
Morkborg.
Let's play Morkborg for a second campaign.
Not if you want the podcast to remain family friendly, my man.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
Oh dear.
It'll be really short.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's over.
We are done. It's done. It's finished.
I never have to play Dungeons and Dragons ever again.
It's been 1,000 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless we like go on tour or something and then I'm forcing you to play D&D.
It's incredibly optimistic words from you there.
What?
Yeah.
Do you know all those like beautiful affirmations on Instagram that's like, I will succeed because I am insane? Me.
Yeah, that tracks.
Me.
That tracks. That's why we've got a podcast in the first place.
Hey, if our wonderful, wonderful fans push for it enough, we will do it.
I fringe when.
Hey, no. There's a clarification here. They have to push enough, but you also need to give us money. I'm not going to be real. We don't have any money.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean by push.
Push via crowdfunder. I don't know where to begin with this. I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about?
I know where to begin. Our present, future cards. Feature cards.
Yeah,
That's the
okay.
one.
Yeah.
That is a decent place to start. Yeah. How I can just talk to you about it. You can ask me questions. You can try and like guess as to like what they relate to. And that kind of thing. Because I realized as I was saying them to you guys, like and I realized this pretty early on in the kind of creation process, that like I couldn't do like future cards as in this is how this like you are going to be at the end of the story, because that's not how actual play works. It's not how TTRPGs work. You can't like forcibly send somebody down a particular path of like growth,
unless you're Griffin McElroy.
No, I don't even think Griffin did it, to be honest.
Bold of you to
like,
assume Griffin McElroy has that much control over his players.
No, I mean
Yeah.
that he's somehow. I'm just saying that there was a bunch of future Oracle powers in some of that campaign.
Sure. I think like I realized pretty quickly that I didn't want to dictate to you what your character's journeys should be, or what, especially because like initially obviously I thought it was going to take like a year, not 5, but also like your relationship to yourself and your character changes so much as you change. So lots of them are much more like about things that happen during the campaign or are more abstract. And I also don't think that I necessarily succeeded in all of them. I think some of them I didn't do as well with, but I think that's okay, because it was more about shaping the story than it was about like getting to a specific endpoint. Yeah. Does anyone have any thoughts and feelings and wonders and opinions and things?
I was thinking something, but Eiriol distracted me by picking up a Gundam, so...
Yeah, sorry. This isn't even a Gundam, this is bits of a Gundam that I'm just playing with now.
So I guess just time to think about specifics then. So for Morgan, the past card was Eiriol. The present...
You chose those.
Yeah, the present card... Well, I mean, the random draw chose them.
Sure.
But the present card was Ruin, and the future card was Jester, which is interesting.
Yeah, I want to know about that one.
So the Jester, I'm going to read that one out, if I could find it in this page on D&D Beyond. Jester means you have advantage on D20 tests for the next 72 hours, or you can draw 2 additional cards beyond your declared draws.
Well, so that's presumably new rules.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, they changed it in the different editions. Let me look up the old version.
And it makes sense to do it that way, because in the old version, it's you gain 10,000 XP.
So I'd say that generally...
like, yeah.
Then that's getting unexpected new opportunities.
Yeah. So yours, I think...
could have been the Time God.
Well, I pivoted away from my original plan, which was make Morgan the god of time. Was that actually on the table?
From day one.
That was the solution, and then the closer we got to the
you all called me crazy for joking about that. You condemned me for a fool for joking that Morgan would make a great time god. Ha 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 ha.
So
I could have done better than Seth.
I was never arguing against.
We were not arguing that.
Yeah, you could be time god. You'd be bad at it.
Yeah, we were arguing that you would make a bad time god morally.
I may have hubristically and loudly joked earlier today that Morgan could have, if Morgan had been in Seth's situation, she'd have been totally fine because of her strong moral character and backbone, which is obviously not true. But
I think so. In terms of what I wrote, so the other thing as well is, and I don't know if this webpage still exists or if I'd be able to find it, but there was a really good page that sort of translated the Deck of Many Things cards to tarot cards, and I used that as inspiration as well. So for the Jester, that was the Hanged Man, which is a lot about like new perspectives.
That's so Morgan's card. That's exactly what I would have picked. It's really good.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah? These were not picked as well, by the way. These were randomly generated. So, and me and Katie had this discussion in the table talk earlier this week, where they were like, would you have like, did you finagle them at all? And I didn't. I just had what I had, and I was like, I've got to work with this, because I like constraints. So I wrote here, and I'd forgotten this, my immediate thought is she achieves her goal and is able to rewrite the past. but at some point that changed to Morgan may well end up ascending to godhood. Lol. But yeah, the closer we got to that, the more I was like, I don't want that to be the only solution, and I don't want, if that doesn't feel like the right solution, I don't want that to be the only solution to the problem, which is where the whole, like, okay, if that's not the answer, what is the answer? Like, there's the proto-gods and there's all this other stuff, and that's why, like, last time we recorded, I had, like, a little wobble midway through recording, because you were all at the point where Morgan was like, I volunteer as tribute, and I gave you a kind of information about the proto-gods, and you started going in the proto-gods direction, and I was like, no, I've messed it up, I could have had my perfect ending.
And then you were
but
like,
I think that this is
both? Maybe?
Yeah, but also, I was like, I think this is better, and I think, like, I wanted to give you, Katie, the choice of, like, what would Morgan want, and
I'm still not 100% certain about the decision there in terms of, like, trying to figure out.
For me, it felt very narratively satisfying.
Just how hubristic is she, and how ready for the responsibility is she. And I think, I guess that being handed a massive amount of stuff for free on a platter is not something that she's had happen before, really. Or at least not suddenly. Like, obviously she's, you know, she was in a position to attend university and stuff. Like, it's not like she started with zero anything. She's had resources before. But just suddenly being handed a huge amount of power is, like, I kind of hadn't thought of that. And she hadn't really thought about it either, because it wasn't something that had ever happened before, so.
Morgan, to me, like, one of the things that has been of character, not a character flaw, like it's a bad thing, but more that, like, it's a point of interest in the story, is her being like, I know best. And
she's a wizard.
Typically, part of religion is giving yourself over to a greater power and being like, there's something kind of ineffable to the universe that I do not understand, and that is kind of greater than me. And so Morgan pivoting to kind of becoming a high priestess, which is very cool, is like her being like, okay, maybe I don't know everything, and there's something greater than me that I can, like, continue to always learn from and follow. And to me, that's like a really satisfying character arc.
So I was feeling a little bit more like, haha, yes, I'm getting in with the boss on the ground floor. Like, you're more charitable to Morgan than I am, perhaps.
It did feel very warlock vibes of, like, I am engrossing myself to this being.
Maybe it will end up being some warlock levels instead of cleric, but
especially with the thing of, like, you turning around and going, okay, so I figured out the secrets of the universe. Here's the densest physics and maths that you've ever seen, and it's like, this is the equivalent of mad scrawlings on the wall.
I think some of the notes that I've made, so I took little quotes from the tarot website that felt pertinent, and then and also just some general notes. But I think the what Am says is kind of interesting because it does chime with what I've written here, which is that the Hanged Man is the card of ultimate surrender, of being suspended in time, and of martyrdom and sacrifice to the greater good, which doesn't necessarily feel what happened with Morgan, but I think that there was kind of a useful, that, like, she had the chance to influence things and change things for her own purposes, and she kind of didn't. She, like, took the knowledge away with her, but she didn't necessarily go, and I'm going to make myself God. Yeah. And also I wrote, maybe instead of fixing things by reversing them, she can use her powers to restore rather than reshape the past, which is what you did completely independently of my suggestion.
Hooray!
Hooray! Love that. Who else? Who next?
If you go in reverse order,
should we just go backwards? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
The skull. Because it was, we started off with something that I genuinely... The sun.
As kind of representative of the utopian society that she's come from.
Yeah. And then the Eiriol, which is the like Crystal and all of the horrible things that are happening to her and happening around her. And then the skull, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the whole arm rotting off thing. That's a
bingo.
Is that what the rat was?
Nice.
That's what the rat was. So my kind of, again, my really, really original, like my first thoughts were, I wrote, maybe they've been cursed by the god of death, maybe they have to face death down unflinchingly, but I thought that could potentially get into some like really heavy territory that I didn't necessarily want to go into. And I was like, if we already have this kind of like the god of time is dead situation going on,
don't want to muddy it too much.
Adding another god into that mix just seems way too complicated.
Yeah.
I found like quotes for everybody based on their characters. So some of them are song lyrics, and some of them Am knows that the fig tree Sylvia Plath is obviously Toz's. But I forgot that, and I'm sure I've said this before on podcast, but I forgot that Delphi's is all caps lock. If the zoo bans me for hollering at the animals, I will face God and walk backwards into hell.
Yep.
Yep.
I can't believe that on one hand we've got Sylvia Plath, on the other hand we have a drill quote off Twitter. Like,
that's me, baby.
Both equal contributions to society.
That's the true meaning of D&D.
oh,
Exactly. So I was really unsure of how to kind of, again, bring this in, and the card, the way that the card works is that you have to fight an avatar of death, which also, if you're low level, is terrifying, and if you're high level, is extremely lame because it has like 20 hit points or something. So I was like, how do I think about this? And then I thought, actually, what if Delphi became the avatar of death? And so what, in like the sort of before like time stuff got fixed, I can't actually speak as to what happens in the sort of version of the events that is in the character's epilogue, but in terms of where the most of the story has taken place, because time is disintegrating so much, people are appearing in places that they aren't supposed to, and sort of images from different timelines are coming across, and so the myth of shamble rot is grove folk across time seeing Delphi with a like rotten physique, and so it becomes kind of like a sort of self-fulfilling prophecy.
I see.
That's so cool.
So Delphi is shamble rot.
So the rot itself was coming from the crystal, though, not from.
Yeah. So Delphi is shamble rot, but presumably because she's cut off her arm and she's no longer dealing with the Delphire, that myth goes away, and so does her sort of associations with it, and kind of quietly disappears into the background.
I love a bootstrap paradox.
yeah.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So yeah, she is the avatar of death, and so that's what gave me the idea for the rotting. And it's also like a useful thing for Eiriol as well, because it's kind of an additional it's an additional curse.
Because
because Delphi needs more bad things.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, I did assume the rotting arm was kind of like Eiriol was the person who would pitch that.
No, not at all. That was all Ellie.
It's because Ellie knows Eiriol well and knows that out of all of us, we'd all go kind of like, ew, and Eiriol would go, yes.
Give me more.
Also, like, body horror, but it's trees is so great.
Yeah.
Oh,
because,
so great.
like, the idea of having, like, a festering, rotting arm is, like, so deeply unpleasant in any kind of biological sense. But, like, when it's a tree, there's like a layer of remove that it's like, for me as somebody who's bad with gore, like extremely interesting and sort of tolerable to listen to and imagine.
It's like when you see weird mushrooms on a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird
If you ever see like the way that so there's a thing called iron rot, which is if you put especially with oak, if you put an iron nail in an oak or like a steel nail, it will like the tree goes black along the like length of the grain, so it will like genuinely, when you cut it open, you'll genuinely see this like massive black streak up and down the tree of where it has like, it's called iron rot. It doesn't, it just changes the color of the tree, but it like it's not good for the tree long term. No. Which is why you shouldn't use steel nails on trees. And why copper is a much better thing that most people do, because it doesn't interact with the thing. It doesn't rust. It doesn't have any of the interactions. But yeah,
see, we're an educational podcast.
Yes.
Woo! Science. Fun fact science corner.
This is the craft person's corner where they go, this thing happens. Don't do it.
I imagine it would be because of the like capillary action of the plants, where it's like taking some of the iron.
But I don't know why iron specifically is so bad.
Yeah, the real question is why copper doesn't do it.
Yeah, that's the question I have. I don't know the answer to that one.
I'm assuming it's like the same reason that we use iron in our blood. It's like something along those lines, right? It is something to do with the chemical composition of iron.
Plant biologists, get in touch.
The active verb choice there is really doing a lot of heavy lifting.
But also, like, iron is the most stable element. Like, it's the least reactive element, technically, I think, apart from noble gases. So I'm like...
It's not lead.
Maybe. I don't know. But iron is, like physically speaking, or like chemistry speaking, is like the most stable because it has like the full electron shell. But I don't know if that actually translates to like real life, if that makes sense. Anyway,
we're getting so off track. Sorry, chemists.
That's okay.
I'm not good at chemistry. Like sorry, everyone.
Should we move on to Raina's card?
Chloe.
Yeah.
Balance.
Yeah.
You know, it felt like in the moment that it made sense, but you know, on balance, actually, I think everything was quite bad.
So Donjon is obviously because she's been imprisoned in the Feywild. Then Moon, I think I remember you messaged you not
Moon?
messaged me.
It had multiple things going on because the like Deck of Many Things one is you get 3 wishes or something, or 1d3 wishes or something like that. And then the moon, like when I was looking up the meanings of like in tarot, it has a lot to do with like fertility and stuff and motherhood. And I was like, I don't want to be a mother. I don't like that dynamic for me. I just don't want to do it. And so I picked like the next best thing, which is this is my brother who I am like responsible for. So that's where that relationship came from. And also it was just kind of like, I guess I escaped somehow. Then the wish is powerful. I escaped. And that was what I left Ellie with. And I went, cool, okay.
So yeah, that was what Chloe left me with. And then I got the balance card, which forces you to change alignment, which again, I was like not comfortable with like forcing something like that upon you. I don't know if they've changed that maybe in the new Deck of Many Things.
I think they might have.
Again, because it feels like something that's quite like
moving away from alignment as a concept, really. But
yeah. So I was like, what could Raina do that is like a sort of like in the abstract, like a fundamentally evil action? And how do I get her to the point where she would willingly do that? And then I was like, what if that actually happened in the past? But you don't find out until the very end of the podcast, which is obviously that you did a big stab with Calacta.
Yep.
Because I've written here as like potential like things. I said she's chaotic good, so either she turns evil or lawful, working against her old crew. Maybe she is the key. And I think that was at that point I started to sort of
connect the dots.
Yeah, Delphi and Raina's stories together, particularly in terms of their like larger purposes. And
do you know, I just had a really wild idea that we could have gone in a completely different direction. That well, the whole story would have been different because it would have been a completely different big bad. But the big bad all along was just like Raina's evil twin.
That's hilarious. That would have been so good.
Some sort of shadow Raina.
She just Shadow Raina just like kidnaps you and then like assumes your life, and the whole party don't know.
Raina from the Mirrorverse, where she has blue eyeshadow and is bisexual.
Incredible. So the quote I took from the Tarot website, which the quote I took from the Tarot website, the Tarot equivalent is justice, was, as you explore your truth, you will discover that things are not as clear-cut as you thought. And then I wrote something else. Perhaps she committed an atrocity in the Feywild, something that would change her perception of herself rather than forcing a new alignment on her. Do I stand by my decisions and accept the consequences for my actions? What happened to her brother, and is it her fault?
So mean of you.
That's so mean of me. But also, you handed me a character who doesn't necessarily think before she acts.
Yeah.
And can be hot-headed and
has a massive gap in her backstory.
Yeah, has a massive gap in her backstory and is highly emotional as well. So I was like, I kind of enjoyed playing on that as like a potential flaw that, again, she now has to sort of live with the consequences, and the whole world does, that that the damage that she did was far larger than she could possibly have realized.
Yeah.
But also, would she have made a different decision? You know, you gotta deal with the consequences of your actions, but also, like, I think we all were kind of like, yeah, but of course she stabbed of course she stabbed Collector because they were...
Collector was being unreasonable and rude and mean.
They were being essentially coercive and
abusive.
Manipulative and abusive. And maybe we condone... Well, I'm not going to say that on the podcast.
I do. I'll say it.
Wrongs.
We condone gay wrongs.
I think violence is a complicated act that can sometimes, whilst the act itself being bad, achieve a net good.
Yeah.
What Am said.
But the state shouldn't kill. Yeah?
That was so well articulated.
It was.
Thank you. I live with a lawyer.
Anna's very smart.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I nearly said an in-joke between my housemates, which is that it's okay to kill children unless they're orphans, because they've already had it bad enough. You can't kill them then. Normal children, though, fine. Which is like...
We do not condone the killing of... It's full circle with you, Eiriol.
Do you not condone the killing of orphans? Because you did murder Seth.
I know.
No, Ellie!
You should have...
Oh, Ellie did.
I forgot. I forgot. You should have gained some hit points when that happened.
Yeah.
You're so right!
I think they did, they just didn't mention it.
That's so funny.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah. Really important.
I would like to add an addendum in case my previous statement about violence does go in the podcast, which is that I don't think the state should have the power to kill people.
Yeah. Amen.
I really enjoyed that when I made Raina and I gave Ellie Raina and we had the discussion, and I was like, yeah, I want to play a more positive character because all my characters up to that point have been sad. And then Ellie looked at my backstory and went, Chloe, what? Ellie was like, you're not doing that, Chloe.
No. What if I could inflict maximum emotional damage?
No, but that would also, I think you like legit said it to me. You were like, this is not a positive story, Chloe.
Yeah, you Captain America'd yourself.
I did. Hey, but like, Captain America is a fundamentally positive character overall. Like, he has a tragic backstory, but like,
I wouldn't say he's chipper. Like,
no, but he's optimistic and idealistic and hopeful.
Yeah, sure.
And that's what I was going for.
Sure. I don't think that changes. I think that's about how you play it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Hello, everyone. We're taking a little break here to say a big thank you for listening to our little podcast. If you enjoy what you're hearing and think it deserves to be heard by the world, we now have plenty of ways you can support the podcast and help us do just that. You can join our Patreon, where we release bonus content every month, including side quest episodes, talk shows, and more. You can even play one-shot games with the cast, and you'll get a shout-out at the end of the episode. Plus, you can head to our merch store to take a little piece of Doma home with you, including the gorgeous artwork Couch Tarot made of our Campaign 1 characters. If you enjoy the music I write for the podcast, you can stream it for free or buy it to keep on Bandcamp. And as always, you can throw us a little thank you in the form of a one-time donation. Just go to our website, deckofmanyaces.com, where you'll find links to all those amazing things. And if you don't have any cash to spare, we still think you're awesome. You're here, aren't you? Hop on into our Discord to chat with our community or share the podcast on social media and with your friends. It all helps and we appreciate all of it. So, what are you waiting for? Go to deckofmanyaces.com and get exploring. Today's promo is for The Adventures of Bud and Herb, a darkly funny fantasy audio drama where two unlikely monster hunters investigate cryptids, cults, and conspiracies in the sleepy town of Mistress Glen. You can find out more at budandherb.com. Roll the trailer.
Got you. Herb?
The Adventures of Bud and Herb.
It's back, and it brought friends.
An immersive audio fiction, actual play hybrid, where cozy mystery collides with creeping horror.
The peepee just froze inside my body, Herb. That ain't natural, man.
Amateur cryptid hunters.
Donnie, the locked-on-ill monster. Wouldn't it be amazing if we actually saw him?
Professional bad decision makers.
There's gonna be a lot of puke all over the place any second now.
Not the ones you want.
To be honest, we weren't sure if anybody was listening.
But the ones you deserve on the case.
Y'all do know this is an investigative funcast, right?
And a living world powered by Daggerheart RPG.
It's such a good story. It flames, seriously.
From Cinderwood Studios and Fable and Folly. Listen anywhere you get your podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Hunger.
Last but by no means least,
largest in
Tozia.
fact. Tozia.
Yeah, largest.
So Tozia was the past was the night because of her mother's fighting prowess. And then the comet was self-explanatory.
The comet was Tozia's fighting prowess.
Yeah.
Yes. And then the gem, which is you get a ton of money, which narratively speaking, it's like, okay,
she already has money.
Where do I go with this? Tozia already has money. How do I make this interesting? And so I lent much more. So I think that this is the card that I think I like is the least the kind of the end result is the least close to the original card drawn, but I got really into the tarot kind of equivalent of this, which allegedly is the Seven of Cups, which is about opportunities, choices, wishful thinking and illusion, alignment, personal values, and being overwhelmed by choice, which I thought resonated with Toz and her kind of journey and her decisions about power and her relationship to her prescribed future very well, and was also the inspiration for the three treasure chests.
Cool.
Yeah. I think the other quote that I have as well is, choices need to be made, but in doing so you must go beyond illusion and allure and instead focus on what's right for you.
You did that.
Yeah. I think that I think the gem also really ties into her ending, because I know it's kind of corny, but she had been rich in material goods and wealth, but has ended the campaign rich, like, in experience and relationships.
And that's what you wanted when you started, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I thought was really cool is that I'd really tried to emphasize with her backstory is because Guy Maris is this traveling city, even though they've kind of been all over, she'd never really been outside of the city before.
She's been to places, but the city's come with her.
Yeah, exactly. And I think now, like, she is there for, like, her family and her community, because like I was saying, she's had a lot of expectations from different people onto what kind of things she should do and what kind of things she should be. And after she had that conversation with Tor, and I can't give enough credit to Ellie and my partner Will for the absolutely amazing job that they did with that storyline. But I think it also made her realize, as much as she was like, I want to do this to serve my community, there was too many benefits of it. And looking at people like her uncle who'd kind of become corrupted by power, she was like, I think I can meaningfully serve my community in other ways without accepting this power that could potentially be corrupting, letting someone who I think actually might do a better job, like, have that opportunity. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's very cool that she's been living for her mother and a lot of people for a lot of her life, and it's nice to see her end the story living for herself.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, yeah, it's like that kind of happened almost naturally, but I really wanted, for the moments that were kind of more about Toz in the narrative, I wanted them to be more about family and about her relationship with her home than about any kind of external things. I also kind of threaded through lots of kind of bits of other timelines into this, particularly for Toz, with this kind of idea of like different choices and getting knowledge and things from different places. So obviously her getting the letter that she never received from her mother, from and obviously like Nana coming from, not Nana, Iona coming from the past and being able to have that kind of relationship. The Praetor, little Praetor,
that was cool.
Things. Praetor also popped up. Praetor also popped up at one point in the campaign, and it was going to be more overt than I made it. But by the time we got to that point, I was like, I feel like this, like, he was going to basically, like, give you a letter from an alternate timeline from your mum that's like, cool. Don't trust your uncle. But I was like, actually, I think this is going to complicate things, and I don't think it's going to be clear. And I think that all of you are going to be sort of searching for, like, how is this relevant to the plot? And it wasn't really. It was just a bit of kind of flavour. But that albatross that, like, followed you for a while, was Praetor from a different dimension.
Whoa.
Cool. That's awesome.
Toz is literally chosen by God.
Yeah.
That relationship works out really well, I think. Of like, and it's one of the things I've never really done with a D&D character before, is having that kind of relationship with religion where like Toz is religious, but not in the sense that it has kind of taken over her whole life. She's like, I believe in Praetor, I follow him, he's a cool guy, but then she's not, getting magic from that relationship. She's not,
she's got other things going on.
Being challenged. Yeah, it's just kind of like a background thing, which I think informs her as a character, which has been cool. And I think the kind of bird following them slightly is a good emphasis of that. Like, it's just there in the background.
I think that's like more realistic as well. Like, I think the majority of religious people aren't the sort of people that build their entire lives around like their place of worship or something. Like, most people are like, yeah, this is one part of my life and I also do these other things.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like originally going to be part of her character, but that kind of relationship was like inspired by you, Chloe, and your relationship with God.
That's my relationship with God. I'm like, this is one part, and then here's all the other stuff.
Yeah. And I think, like, as well, my and I'm sure I said this to Katie in the table talk recently, like, a lot of my the two campaigns I have run of D&D have both been very heavy on the go fight God thing. But that's because I think,
all right, Philip Pullman.
I was gonna say, okay, JRPG, so Philip Pullman, JRPGs, shaking hands, fight God.
Oh, shaking hands. I think it's because in terms of like fantasy settings, the thing that excites me and interests me the most is pantheons. And I love I love gods as a concept. I love pantheon gods as a concept, and so I always feel excited to explore them. But like the deeper we got into the story, and I feel like my interest has shifted mostly because I have started to view gods as like allegorical for the establishment, and have always been pretty anti-establishment, but like in recent years that kind of political thought has become more present in my gaming. So I think if I were to run a new D&D campaign or any kind of campaign tomorrow, gods wouldn't feature as heavily as they did in this one. But I think it makes sense that for all of the characters, we only had one person who was like really kind of consciously a messenger for a godlike creature, but pretty much everybody had a relationship with a deity. And for Raina, it was more like the sort of the sailors' traditions of like the sea and
I mean, it never really
the sea spirits.
Yeah, it never really came out like in the campaign, but I did write a bit about like the ocean spirit and the idea of like this non-deified kind of idea of being like it's a faith for sure, and it's a spiritual idea, but I particularly wanted it to be like separate from like gods and deities. Like it's not one figure, it's just this kind of like belief, kind of like how some people aren't necessarily religious, but they do kind of like feel spiritual about like the universe or something, where it's like not a figure, there's not like one big thing, it's more just kind of like everything will be okay because I believe that there's something watching over us, you know.
So there's the cards. Is there anything else that you guys want to talk about, or like the finale? And...
Yeah, I just wanted to check. You were saying about the quotes for the different characters. Did you have ones for Raina and Morgan as well? Because I've forgotten if you did.
So the Raina and Morgan are both song lyrics.
Yeah, they are.
Raina's is from. That's Delphi's. That's why I was like, why is it in caps lock? That's why. Raina's is from Little Lion Man by Mumford & Sons.
Is that on
which
Raina's
is
playlist?
You know,
it might be actually.
It is probably on. It's definitely on the group playlist I have for the four characters.
It's on a lot of my characters. It's on Tozzy's playlist.
I actually don't think it is on Raina's playlist. I think it's one of my other characters it's on.
But it was not your fault, but mine, and it was your heart on the line. I really effed it up this time.
Messed it up this time is the radio edit.
It is, yeah.
Messed it up. I really messed it up.
I got darn messed it up.
I got darn messed it up. So that's Raina's, and I actually have two for Morgan. And I don't know. I think one of them is a Night Vale quote. So one of them is a Bug Hunter song lyric, because I'm just like unashamedly a fan of that little nerdy dweeb, which was, I'm finally ready to admit that this wasn't my fault, to learn that love does not exist when I feel this small. I can count on one hand the times you've made me feel worthy. I can count on one finger to say you don't deserve me.
Banger of a lyric.
Banger of a lyric. He's good. He's good at what he does. Good. And then the Night Vale quote is, "The past is gone and cannot harm you anymore. And while the future is fast coming for you, it always flinches first and settles in as the gentle present."
I think we talked about that one before.
Yeah.
I'm sure we have. I'd forgotten that it was a Night Vale quote, but I'm pretty sure that that's where it's from.
It's 100% a Night Vale quote.
And it's so gorgeous, it's like, you know, timey-wimey.
I'm also thinking about the one about the Night Vale one that's like the line between beautiful and weird is covered in jellyfish or something.
Love that. And then obviously we know Tozia's as the fig tree analogy. But I feel like actually Toz has ended on a much more hopeful note than that fig tree, because the fig tree one is all about like being paralyzed by indecision, and I know that. But for both me and Am, that's something that was very personal to us in our early 20s, and now in our late 20s, I certainly I still have the like desire to do absolutely everything, but I feel less trapped by it, and I feel it feels less. It doesn't have the same power over me, which is quite nice. Personal growth.
Yay! Do you know, I've looked through the playlist that I made for Raina because I love to make playlists for my characters, and usually there's like one song on the playlist where I'm like, yeah, that's like the theme song. And I don't think there is one for Raina. The only one of these that maybe it could be. And it's not even, it's usually a song, but this is just a piece of music, and you're going to laugh because it's from Doctor Who, of course.
Of course.
But it's Clara's theme. And I hate Clara. But
the
music in Doctor Who.
Raina is very Clara.
Raina is very Clara.
But that's the first thing on there, and I'm like, yeah, that's the one. That's the one that stands out. I mean, also, it is a bit different because I have written Raina's theme, and that's on there too. So that is like the theme, obviously, because it was written for that purpose. But
I have loads and loads of. I remember I asked you all like what sort of central questions and ideas you had for your different characters, but I have a humongous list of questions that are really kind of lovely, and I think have all been explored probably. I mean, I haven't read them all fully yet, but there's loads. I've got, how do we be brave in the face of danger? That feels very Toz. How do we learn to love and accept ourselves? How does where we come from shape who we are? How do we reclaim a purpose that was taken from us? Who am I supposed to be? How do we make decisions when we can't understand the magnitude of our actions? How do I achieve my goals? Why do I want to achieve my goals?
Ooh.
Does the end justify the means? Will I change anything? Does my life have a higher purpose? What key is more important than the thing it unlocks? Is empathy or logic more important when making decisions? How do I continue when my world has been turned upside down? That's very COVID core. What are the consequences of having a power you don't fully understand? How do I atone for abandoning someone? How do I make a mark in my community? How do I prove myself? And what must I do to gain acceptance?
That's a lot of things.
That's a lot of things. I highlighted 5, which I think were the main ones.
Yeah, I think we covered, like, even if we didn't answer the questions, I think they all came up at some one point or another.
Yeah. I think I am a big believer in just doing like some like heavy dramaturgy before a campaign, because I do think that it focuses you, and it like focuses character choices, and
I have a question for, because Chloe has said about Raina's playlist, but do you two have songs that stick out in your mind as being the song for that person? Because I do for Delphi, very specifically. Every time
Let me have a look at the Tozia playlist.
Because for me, it's
Go on.
But Never a Key by Dirtpool or Robbins, as like it is the encapsulation of how I thought about Delphi as a character. But it's interesting to hear that you don't have one for Raina.
Yeah, I usually do, which is surprising me. It might be because I wrote it before I had a chance to come up with it.
How do you feel, Eiriol, about Delphi no longer having the Delphier as like a presence in their life post-campaign?
I think it's like a really... Because I think it encapsulates also the way that they interact with the party, of it's like they have now left and they see them very rarely. It's all those kind of things, and it's like, this is it's a very typical hero story of does the thing, completes the thing, beats the big bad, goes home and carries on with their normal life to some extent. Things have changed, and it's like very prototypical of the hero's journey.
Hero's journey, innit?
But but in an interesting way, because I don't think they embody the rest of the steps as much, but they definitely fit with that last one.
Yeah, and I think it's like interesting because like it's interesting to think about again how all of the characters relate to gods and god type beings, that like Delphi is chosen for a really specific purpose and has this like extremely, in many ways, like a very complicated and frustrating but also quite an intimate relationship with the Delphier, but ultimately is another tool, right?
Yeah.
The thought I always had with the Delphier is the reason Delphi was chosen is not because they were the only person who could do this, is because they were the person who was there who could do it. And if Delphi wasn't able to, it would be someone else.
Yeah, 100%. Which is why when the bad thing happened, like the whole town disappears, but Delphi remains.
Yeah,
because she's the one who can.
Yeah,
yeah.
But if she died, someone else would join the party and be like, "I'm here."
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's probably the Deep Blue OK by Self-Esteem.
Oh.
I really recommend it. It's a fantastic song.
Ooh. I don't think I've heard that one. It wasn't an early podcast.
No, my original picks, well, I think it's been really interesting for me because for Tozia, she's very dissimilar to me in a lot of ways, but she's also very similar to me in a lot of ways. And I think one of the differences, I play a lot of characters who are like very self-loathing. And I was like, for the challenge in creating Tozia, I was like, I want to play a character who kind of has no problems with their self-identity or like self-hatred, and also has a pretty good relationship with their parents. Just because I found that to be quite interesting and like a good basis for a character and a different way to challenge me. So Tozia, a lot of my characters deal with issues of like humanity and self-identification, and that's just never been a problem for her. So a lot of the songs on her playlist are like quite happy.
Yeah.
But the Deep Blue OK I think is good. It's about like one of the, I'll post the lyric section in the Discord, but one of the better things about it I really like is it's a lot of like relief and catharsis of accepting yourself like where you are currently at, and sort of being like, yeah, I've got room to grow as a person, but I'm doing okay, I'm pretty happy with myself, like. And I think that's kind of reflective of her as a character, is the internal, there was never going to be any external conflict that was a problem for her because she's so physically capable, but the internal conflict was very much like not about her self-identity but about people's expectations of her and her own ability. And I feel like out of all of my TTRPG characters, I know that if you've listened to my table talk with Chloe, she does a fabulous thing when we finish a game of like, oh, like what are you going to take from this character with you, which I think is an Alice is Missing pull.
Yeah, that's what I took from Alice is Missing. I love that question. What are you going to take with you? What are you going to leave behind? Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. We could do that with this campaign.
I think that's a good idea. But one of the things, the thing that Tozia will always be to me is like, she is the character that I like kind of grew up with.
Yeah.
Like I've become like an adult and a person over these past 5 years, and I really think that there was a lot of adolescent anxieties in her original character, which she has kind of resolved. And yeah, I feel this song really represents that. Sorry, I was doing word vomit.
No, that was so lovely.
Oh,
I love the idea of what are you taking with your character and what are you leaving behind as well. Is that something that you guys would like to do?
Sure.
Yes.
So is there anything else that anyone wants to bring up or ask about or chat about before we do that?
Yes. Did you have fun?
No.
I did.
Yay!
I did.
Yay.
I had so
fun
much
too.
fun. Yeah, I did have fun. I feel like insanely privileged to be able to do this and to have done this with this group of people.
And you should.
Thank you, guys.
You should, because we're great.
I'm really proud of us, but especially the people doing the actual work, which is not me, of getting this far and that we got to the end of something. We did it, guys.
We did it.
Yeah.
We finished a campaign. And not only did we finish a campaign, we published it and edited it.
And we seem to be planning another one.
Yeah.
Suck it, commitment issues.
Yeah, exactly. So many projects and particularly podcasts, I think, get abandoned, and particularly got abandoned after the pandemic because people were like, "Oh no, now I'm busy and I have a life again. I cannot do podcasts."
Yeah.
And I'm really proud that we were like, "Nah, gonna keep going.
Screw my free time."
Exactly. Free time who?
Free time who? Eiriol read me correctly when I quit. I quit my second job and I was going, I could do this and this and this, and Eiriol just went, "Or you could have free time, Chloe." And I was like, I've never been so seen in my life.
Scheduling did get noticeably more difficult when the pandemic ended.
Yeah.
Well, these things happen, don't they?
But we still did it, which I think is
Somehow.
genuinely more impressive than anything else. Like the fact that we have gone, no, we're going to continue doing this regardless.
Yeah.
Because we
and we
love
did it for
it.
5 years.
Yeah.
5 years.
Woo!
This is the first time I finished a campaign ever.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Whoa.
Yeah. Every other campaign has had unambiguous endings.
If this campaign was a child, it would be doing mathematics by now.
Oh, don't.
It would be
We were
writing its own name.
babies. We'd just graduated university when we started this.
I was still in uni when I was doing this.
Yeah, Katie was still in uni. Multiple of us did masters.
I was still in uni.
Yeah.
I was doing my masters.
I was doing my masters.
I think I just graduated.
We all have different jobs now to what we did when we started, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ali got a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Ali got a girlfriend.
I did.
Chloe and I bought houses.
We did. Well, I bought a flat.
Yeah,
but
two
still.
of you are property owners now. What the hell?
We own property.
Yeah, in between this, I got and lost 2 jobs, you know.
Yeah.
It's not a competition.
Been crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've lost both of my jobs, thank you.
And we've got to meet lots of cool people and do lots of cool things and guest on stuff and go to cons.
Yeah.
And
go to Dragon Meet.
we wouldn't have done that if we hadn't done the podcast.
And create such an incredible community of people. Like that's the thing that I always find wild is that on the Discord a new episode will come out and people will be like really talking about it, and I go, people are listening to us.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
For the longest time, it felt a little bit like, and this is just because Nate is a yapper, but it felt a little bit like, oh, well, Nate just listens to the podcast because, like, he's our friend. And it's like, no, he actually genuinely enjoys the podcast and will comment very insightful things about it. And then to see Nate be joined by other people doing the same thing who are not our friends was like,
yeah.
What?
Actually, all of you are our friends and we love all of you.
Yeah.
Parasocial relationships be damned.
We're parasocially
You guys-
right back, buddy.
You're not my friends, but I think you're pretty cool.
Also, like, there have been, like, over the years, like, a few like young people as well who have got into the podcast, and that's been really, like, cool and exciting.
It's so
like,
cool.
especially, like, for me, like, this was born in like 2013 when Katie was like, hey, there's this thing that's been going crazy on Tumblr called Welcome to Night Vale, you should listen to it.
Oh, Theo, I thought you were about to say Homestuck.
No! No!
Psych,
No,
the entire campaign is based on Homestuck.
No. Definitely not.
How many other things that we did in this could be a Homestuck?
Yeah, I think, like, since then, like, podcasting has been on my radar and has been, like, something that I've been excited by, and I had never had an idea for a podcast before the pandemic, and I'm really grateful, especially, I'm really grateful that I, like, went to all of you, and I was like, oh, they're probably gonna say no, and they're probably gonna want to quit after, like, 6 months, and you were all like, no, this sounds great, and I was like, I can't pay you, and you were like, that's fine.
I feel like you've repeatedly gone, oh, you know, you might not want to carry on, and we go, yeah, what do you think we're not enjoying this every time we do it? And you're like, yeah, but you know, it's so much time and energy, and it's like, God, I hate putting time and energy into things that I enjoy doing. It's the worst part of it. I wish I could just instantaneously do it and then not experience it at all.
I spoke on a whole panel about anxiety at the table last weekend at EuphoriaCon. So it's a whole thing.
Yeah,
it's a whole thing.
Yes, but Ellie, in case you didn't hear it before, we all enjoy playing with you, and we enjoy the podcast. And you're not an imposter.
Crazy! What? No, I refuse to believe it.
Feel like I should briefly mention that, contrary to everything we just said, very, very sadly, I may be stepping back a little bit from the podcast in the future, which has got nothing to do with how much fun I've had, which is a lot. And everything to do with, unfortunately, other things exist.
Yeah.
It's also how much you hate Ellie, specifically.
Yeah, actually, I have a death vendetta against Webster.
We couldn't keep the peace
can't
for so
stand
long.
him. It's because I have a horrible bias against short people. Anybody under 5'4".
What the hell, man?
And this cast is 40% short people.
Yeah,
so.
I just can't live in this household anymore. I've got to get out.
You're also now going to be balancing the scale, so it'll be too short, too tall. At least, yeah.
And I'm not even that tall.
Yeah.
So, shall we end with something you're going to take with your character and something you're going to... Wait, what is it? Sorry, Chloe, can you repeat it?
Something you would take with you about your character and something you would leave behind. We also don't have to do it now because we have just yapped for the last 10 minutes.
I think it would be cool to introduce ourselves for the last time for this campaign and then do the So for the last time, I mean, I'm always going to be Am, but for the last time as Toja Atherdale, who was a Battlemaster fighter and a wild magic barbarian, which I did not see coming, who had a crazy amount of hit points and could do a crazy amount of damage. And I will leave behind my insecurities about not being who people think of me, who people want me to be, and I'm going to take the strength and the protection for people that she loves with me, I think.
Yeah, well, I am Chloe. I don't know if I said I'm going by Chloe more these days, but here we are. So I wasn't always Chloe. Now I'm Chloe. But yes, I played Raina Riftwood, who is a Tabaxi College of Glamour bard and swashbuckler rogue, which I also didn't see coming. It turns out bard rogue, not a great multiclass unless all you care about is being really good at skills, in which case I've got you.
The best multiclass.
The best multiclass. It was a lot better after I was a swashbuckler, and then I was like, oh, this is easier now. But yeah, I think I will take with me Raina's like ability to like find camaraderie with the people around her, like no matter who they are or how well she knows them, and sort of bringing people together. And I would leave behind I think my answer is the same as before, actually. Her kind of cluelessness or just like going along with things without really putting in the effort to figure out what's going on exactly and why it's happening. Which, contrary to my online handle, I do not want to go with the flow.
Fair.
I am Eiriol. I have been playing Delphi the Growfolk Warlock, who is I adore them to bit. It's been very fun playing a warlock. I love warlocks a bit. I'm so glad that we made it an intelligence-based warlock, because I don't want to be a charismatic character. But yeah, they're a wonderful character to have played, and I think I'm going to leave behind, in some way similar to Raina's, the reliance on someone else to tell them what to do. Throughout the campaign was very much like, well, I will receive this information from a higher being of what I should do with my life, and I don't think that's a good way to live. And I think I will take with me a I think I already have of the genuine care that Delphi has for the people that they met across their adventures, and how much they were like, I want to help you, not in a short-term immediate way of I want to kill this monster that's attacking you or whatever. I want to make sure that your lives are better at the end of this.
Oh. Is it me?
Yes! Is it me?
Yeah, I have been Katie, and I have been Morgan Serenity, the tiefling wizard, who I originally picked to be a flying tiefling because some online optimization guide was like, flying is really great and really highly rated, and at some point I just decided it and thought it was neat. And here we are. And again, ditto, Chronergy seems really cool and also kind of OP. Let's go for it. Now here we are, 5 years later.
Whoops, accidentally wrote the time plot.
Yeah. I don't know. What do I want to take from Morgan? I don't know whether I just maybe didn't get into it that much, but I feel like she was always pretty, not unflappable exactly, but kind of rolled with punches. Yep, this is happening now. And sometimes you just have to say with life, this is what's happening now, and now I will deal with it, rather than getting too bogged down in the details, which... Not getting bogged down in details? What am I talking about? That's Morgan loves details. I don't know. And then leaving behind, possibly not quite what you mean, but academia. Get away from that.
Yeah.
Society has progressed beyond the need for me to be in academia. Goodbye, universities. Never again will I set foot in one of you, or play a character who goes to one. Wizards, we don't need those anymore. We don't need people who know stuff. That's one of the problems I had, is Morgan's supposed to know and understand things and be clever, and I'm there puzzle clues? I don't even know them. So no, I only playing stupid people from now on.
Very legit.
Join me on the Thembo train. It's really fun.
Yeah. And I've been Ellie. I'm also I've not told any of you this ahead of recording. I'm also interchangeably going by Leo.
Really?
You have told me this.
I've told you. No, I've told you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You told Eiriol before you told us.
I will admit, I did forget what the name was. I did know that you were going by another name, but my brain is not good enough to remember anything.
I'm losing a bet to Will, which is annoying.
I can't believe you're doing this on podcast. A bet to
Will?
Are you sure you don't want to go by Eli? Because I am losing money on this, so
hilarious.
Do you and Will have a bet?
I'm not at liberty to confirm or deny.
Oh, that's going to go down so well with my very specific niche group of trans masochists.
That's so funny.
Anyway,
balls that goes £10.
I've been your DM, your demisexual
mastermind. The original.
Yeah, that was the first one, right?
Macho Man.
You've been our dungeon master.
I've been your dungeon master, and I probably won't be next season.
Whoa.
Whoa. Yeah. That's it.
That's all, folks.
That's all,
Bye.
folks. Bye.
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 Do a wham. Do a wham.
Deck of Many Aces is Am Chisholm, Eiriol Evans, Ellie Webster, Katie McLeod, and me, Chloe Elliott. Big thanks to our patrons Nate Scott Jones, Ouroboros, EK Green, Space Ben, Callum D, Ibad, KP, Steph Burks-Thelia, Josh, and Kat Dale. You can join that legendary list and get bonus content at patreon.com/deckofmanyaces. Find out more about us and what we're up to by going to our website, deckofmanyaces.com, or following us on social media. The campaign may be over, but we have a cracking schedule coming up for you all. There's not one, but 2 one-shots on their way, showcasing some of the amazing indie games our friends in the TTRPG community are making. And we'll be recording a Q&A episode to answer your questions about the podcast, campaign, and beyond. Join our Discord and put your questions in the Q&A channel, or send them to deckofmanyaces@gmail.com, and we might just read it out on the show. And that's not all. We are so pleased to announce that our merch store is now officially open. Right now you can order Doma tote bags and beautiful A3 posters of Couch Tarot's amazing artwork. There will be plenty more products appearing in time, so check back to see what goodies you can get. Go to deckofmanyaces.tmail.com with dashes between the words, or go to the link on our website to find it. You can also buy my entire soundtrack, or individual albums and tracks, to download and keep on Bandcamp at deckofmanyaces.bandcamp.com. If Doma isn't enough for you and you need more, you can find our cast in some other places on the internet. Listen to me and Am every other Thursday on RWD, an indie TTRPG podcast where we play Scum and Villainy. You can also hear me voice the wizard Edith in Legend of the Bones, and find out what Ellie's up to by going to elliewebster.co.uk or signing up to their mailing list in the episode description. Plus, keep an eye on 3 actual play YouTube channels, Theatre Macabre, Who Hurt You, and Euphoria, where I will be playing in games releasing later this year. And with that, that's it from me. Have an ace week. Bye!